some fights, eternity where people strive.
Hey, we're live.
Hey, hello. Hello. How are
Well-
you, Will?
Welcome to Dreamland Studios.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
All right. Well, without further ado, dreamers, I'd like to introduce you to an artist extraordinaire, in my opinion. I've heard her music, it's spot on, and I can't recommend the music of Marcie Douglas enough to everybody. Check out all of Marcie's links down the description box below. Support, support, support. Marcie is an awesome individual, and I'm very excited to talk to my who's also my friend, a personal friend of the Dreamers. So all together, everybody, this is going to be fun. Hang out for a while. Got a few surprises, few twists and turns. Let's get it rocking. Marcie Douglas, how are you? Welcome to Hanging with the Dreamer.
Hello, how are you? I am great. How's it going, Will?
I am fantastic. I
Me
am
too.
wonderful. I
Me
am
too.
I am great. Life is good.
Life is good. It is. I can't complain. I really can't. I'm a busybody, so I keep busy all the time, So and being here, this is good, this is kind of nice. I get to like sit down and like and chill and be able to talk and hang and do our thing here. So that's
That's
what it's about. So
that's exactly it. It's
so
awesome, Marcie.
hey, Stormbringer. Haha. How
Hey,
are
Stumbling.
you?
How are you? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Sonia, hey, you will star Marcie
Hi,
Douglas.
Sonia. How are you?
Ah,
That's
I
cool. They're popping in. I love that.
yeah.
So it's good to
So
see them. So,
this is awesome.
it
Awesome.
is. It is.
Oh, Stormbringer. Okay, Marcie.
Oh, it's Pat Campbell. Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Cool
Pat. How
name,
you
man.
doing?
Cool name. I like that name.
Welcome to the show, Pat.
Yes,
Welcome to
Pat.
the show.
Yeah, I've known Pat for quite a while. We kind of are connected with some of the people on Facebook, with Jeff Duncan and Matt Duncan and, uh, um, geez, Doug Aldridge and the band that they're in. And, just like it's all connected there. We became friends many years ago, and he plays guitar. He's that guy right there. You should see his collection. He's got a great vintage um, collection, Gibson collection, and stuff like that. And he actually made it into Guitar Magazine because of the vintage collection he had. He had posted it. I thought that was really cool.
Wow.
So congratulations, you know,
Awesome.
for
Good
that,
job.
Pat. I was very excited to see that for him. You know, so
That's cool.
it's a good accomplishment. It's just like being here is accomplishment. When you wrote me, I was like, wow, this guy wants to interview me. I thought this is really cool. So I've been promoting and trying to, get the album out there and tell people about it and come and, just trying to figure out a name for it, which I decided Misty Vision. And that when it comes to that album cover and everything like that, and I got a hold of a guy and, that he plays in a band called Last Pariah. His name is Ron Toth. And I liked what he did. And I had talked to him, God, it was over a year ago, but during the pandemic, I thought this is a good time. I had the money saved. I've been like saving and scraping for every little thing that I was going to need to, get this album out there, so it was, I got a hold of him and, everything's all set. So as of right now, we're just waiting on the mixing and mastering. And, Glenn's in the studio right now. He's working on all that stuff, so he's getting it rolling. and it's
It's gonna
sounding
be
good.
awesome.
Yeah,
It's gonna be awesome.
it's gonna be really good. I mean, if anybody's in the private group that I have, you get to hear sneak peeks of what Glenn has done, and what you're hearing is the dummy tracks. It's not even mixed, you know. The levels are probably not quite right, but I mean, for what he does with the dummy tracks is amazing. I cannot wait to see the final results of what he does. It's just he's got a heck of an ear on him, this guy does, you know? He's really good at what he does, but he's well seasoned, he's been doing it for 20 years, you know?
Mhm.
So, I'm very fortunate to be able to work with Glenn Drover and Sean Drover, so which they're both gonna be special guests on the album.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
New music that's out right now. I mean, I was watching the Super Bowl halftime show yesterday. The production was phenomenal.
Oh, it always is. It always
And
is.
then I found out, I did some research on like, what it took to be a Super Bowl halftime act, and what are all the specifics. And I was shocked to find out that anybody who performs at Super Bowl halftime is not getting paid, and it's all for um, advertising, and it's all for exposure,
Yeah,
and exposure on a worldwide audience, in case that particular artist or band hasn't achieved that yet or is close to achieving it. So
exactly. Yeah.
it's a good thing, you
It is a
know.
good it is a good thing, and like with me just starting out, you know, just doing this, you know, being my very first album, you know, it's just like, you know, it's pretty much you're on your own. know? You know, you have to get out there.
Yeah,
You have to promote yourself. You got to show them what you got, you know, and your writing, and you know, people want you to be real. They want you to play your guitar and sing for them and stuff like that. When I first started working with Glenn, he had asked me, you know, what I wanted to do, you know, and how I wanted things. And one of the things that I wanted when recording this album is I wanted it to sound as natural as it can. You know, I didn't want a lot of auto tune and stuff like that on it, you
mm,
know, because I told him, I said, if I ever went out and played live, you know, I want people to know that it's me on the album. You know, I don't want them to go out there and then it's completely, I mean, you can take a song and just make it phenomenally awesome, but you know, it's completely different when you go to a live show, you know. And I
yeah,
wanted to make sure there's a mixture of, you know, that's really her singing on there and not too much dubbed over and stuff like that, you know.
that yeah. See, that's the thing.
Mhm.
All the polishing and all the fine tuning and all the mastering and remastering. I mean, it's really great. It's such a major accomplishment if
Mhm.
you're able to achieve a natural, organic sounding release, or some natural, organic sounding tracks that you'll be able to go out and perform live,
Yeah.
and people go, "Wow, that
Wow.
sounds just like the album."
That's exactly how I wanted it, because I don't know how many live
And
shows I've been to and be like, "Oh my gosh," it's just like, I can't believe how good these guys sound, you know? Queen's Right, you know, all them guys, you know, when they get out there and they perform, man, they're the real deal, you know? And that's definitely what I wanna perceive myself as too, you know?
well,
And
it's all about being natural. It's all
yeah,
about being organic and
yes,
being yourself, you
yes,
know?
yes, yes.
So tell me, well, not only myself, I kind of know, but the good folks in the chat, the dreamers in the chat, what inspired Marcie Douglas to pick up an instrument?
Well, it kind of ran in the family. My parents played music for, gosh, since I can remember. I mean, I can remember. Uh, I couldn't even tell you how old I was. It's just it's always been there, you know. And I think it started young. There was always a guitar laying around. You always picked it up. I probably didn't know how to play it at first, but I'd ask how to play a chord or something, and then you started with that. Just to try to make it ring on a old Gibson guitar that the strings were rusty, and you know yeah, you can play on this one, but not the good one. This is the one you got to learn on.
That's
Doesn't quite
awesome.
stay in tune that great, type stuff, and you can beat it up as much as you want, but that's how you learn, you know
That's how
and
you find your voice.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling you.
yeah, you do. Yeah, my parents, they played for years. It was nothing to have musicians at our house and playing, and then I can remember, like, when I got older and I was old enough to have friends come over, I we'd come home after school, or we'd run outside and play or something, and we'd come back in, and then there's my parents, and they're standing in the kitchen, and they're playing music, and they walk in and they're looking like, what is going on in here? Because I never really tell anybody about what's going on, because it's just there. To me, it's like, that's how it was at our house. It just, to me, that was normal. So people walk in, and I'd be like, oh, just this, they're just practicing. Let's go downstairs or something, and they'd be like walking by, like, your parents are playing music in here. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Andy
So,
Dion, how's it going? Welcome to the show,
hi,
man.
Andy.
Awesome,
Thanks for
dude.
stopping in.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hiya. Oh, Sonia
Sandra.
knows Andy. All right, cool. See,
Well, everybody knows each other. It's kind of cool.
that is cool.
I love my chat rooms. Everybody's great. That's awesome. That's Stormbringer. Let's see.
Natural is better. So many bands terrible live due to auto tune. I agree. I completely agree. It can ruin you. I've played with auto tune, and I just don't even like it. I think it just sounds. I can't even. Sometimes I can't find my own voice with it. If that makes any sense to anybody that's a vocalist. It's and people that can sing with it. I mean, you can't down it too much, because there's got to be some type of perfection on how to sing with it. It's completely different than just singing into a regular mic. I want people to hear my tone. I don't want it to be overdubbed too much. Maybe a little bit of reverb or something to kind of enhance the sound, where it needs to be.
So, Marcie, what are your hopes and your goals for after your music is released? What would you like to see happen?
What would I like to see happen is, I would I would eventually would like to play live, get out and play live is what I would like to do. Get out, meet people, and maybe have a band, and get up there and do it, and just just experience that. You know. Another thing that would be cool is to maybe eventually down the line, if things take off right in the right direction, and it's cool to record, how we record. We go through
Mhm.
the Pro Tools, and we pass it back and forth and things like that. But to be able to, I come from the old school, back to, as being a kid, and my parents, I would, you know when they were learning a song back in my day, we put on a record, and some of the records, they didn't even have lyrics. They didn't have lyrics, So I would sit down there with a pen, and I got really good. My eyes were a lot better back when I was a kid. I could drop that needle on the grooves. I knew exactly where to drop it on the grooves. I could drop it exactly where I needed to find the where I left off and stuff like that. I got that good at at doing records, and 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 to pick up an album, and seeing, somebody on there that is within the album and stuff like that, and and but back then, they they recorded in a real studio, you know
Yeah, yeah.
and that's where I'm getting at. It would be cool to be able to experience doing that, like being in a studio and actually being with the people, and being able to experience it that way. I mean, this has been a great experience as it is. I've learned quite a bit. Glenn has taught me a lot. He's taught me a lot along the way. And he said you can't put the cart before the horse. So this is how it's going to go. And it started off with me. Work on your music, send it to me, and I told him, I said to him, I said, if it sucks, let me know. Don't hurt my feelings. If you don't like it. But it seems like each song that I wrote they liked, you know, and
That's cool.
and it just kind of went on from there. And I learned each step and each process of how it is to record. And there's a lot that goes into it, you know, a lot that goes into it. It's a lot of time.
So, who was the first concert, the very first time you realized, man, that's what I want to do with my life? Who was that you were watching perform?
For me, it wasn't, gosh, it wasn't a concert. It was listening to those albums when I was a kid. But my first concert that I actually went to, because I've always wanted to go, was Motley Crue, out of all people. It was Theater of Pain, Y&T, yeah, and it just kind of stemmed from there. You know, I was young. I was like in junior high, and I had a paper out, and I saved the money. $12 was a lot of money for somebody who had a paper out. And I was young, and I had a brother that was a little older than me, and I thought to myself, I really want to go to this concert. And so I had a couple girlfriends that said, let's go watch Motley Crue, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. And so I talked to my mom, and she said no, at first. And then I came up with this idea. It was like, well, what if Jimmy takes me, and then she was cool with it. So I had to convince my brother, and then I had to buy him a ticket on top of my ticket. And then he ended up losing his ticket. He did. He lost his ticket. I
Oh,
wanted to kill him. He took it to school. He put it in his book one day, and he was going to
no.
school. And I said, "Don't take that to school." I said, "Somebody might steal it." And then he came home and somebody stole it. But when I look back at all that, I kind of wonder if he ditched me. He didn't want to take his little sister to Motley Crue. But I convinced my parents. I said I worked really hard, for this ticket. So they ended up taking us to the concert, and we actually got to go. And it was a
That,
big eyeful,
that's cool.
for a 15-year-old girl, Motley Crue concert.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. We had a blast. I remember it was packed in there, and we were general mission, and we were these short girls, and we were like surrounded by all these people, and after a while I was like, man, well, back then, it was actually downtown here in Battle Creek, and
Mm,
and it was a ice hockey rink. Back then we did have hockey here, and I remember the penalty box. We was kind of close to that, and I thought, man, this sucks. I can't see anything. So I said, come on, and I grabbed the girls, and I said, we stood right up on those penalty boxes. I got up on there, and I like balanced myself, and that's where we stood, was on top of those penalty boxes. Yeah, and we could see the whole show, and it was a great concert. Yeah.
I
Balanced
saw,
up there the whole night to watch that show. Yeah.
I saw that show. I saw the girls go. Well, the Theater of Pain show. I can only imagine what that was like for you, because I remember seeing Motley Crue back in the day when they played this Wolf and Risk Miller's Country Club in
Oh, wow. Yeah.
San Fernando Valley here in California.
Mhm.
And it was just it was just like, to a little kid standing on Mick Mars's side of the stage,
Yeah.
having Mick Mars just staring at you the whole time.
Like, in
It's
your face.
it's like, so I remember, I'll never forget that moment, or all the rest of the concerts when I was younger that I went to at the country club, and the Whiskey and the Roxy, and the Starwood, and the Palladium. But it
Mhm.
was that was
Well,
So
see, you really lived at the '80s. You really seen all them bands, you
that
know?
was crazy. So for you to see the Theater of Pain tour with YNT
Yeah,
opening up,
yeah,
I
yeah.
never saw. I've seen some pretty good shows, but I got to tell you, even some of the best shows that I've seen up close and personal, um, like Rob Halford, the Metal God,
Mhm.
he had a solo band called Fight,
Yeah,
and
yep.
I
I've got some of
saw
their CDs, yeah.
I saw Fight open up for Anthrax, and
Oh, wow, that'd be cool.
that was up for Fight. I was right there at the front of the stage, and
And
the Metal God was standing right in front of me, and that was crazy. I was like, just, are you serious?
yeah, you was like yeah, you was hooked then, you know? Yeah,
You
when I went
know,
to the Motley Crue concert, I was definitely hooked, you know, and I was brought up my parents used to play bluegrass festivals, which is completely different compared to, like, a rock concert, you
that's
know?
cool.
It's completely different,
That's cool.
but it's just like, there's nothing like a rock concert compared to a
Well,
not to down bluegrass because, it is my roots and I respect that type of music, but it was more of the rock concert for me, you know?
I cannot even begin to imagine what it must have been like to see Y&T open up for Motley Crue.
Oh,
That
it was amazing.
wow.
It was amazing. Them guys rock, and back then I really didn't know who
Wow.
they were, because, MTV
Wow.
was out, so Motley Crue was a thing, Too Young to Fall in Love and all of
Mm.
that stuff, back in the day, and that's kind of what hooked me into Motley Crue. Well, before Motley Crue, before MTV, I remember my brother bringing me a bootleg. It was a cassette tape. He goes, "Man, this is a bootleg, and it's illegal to have this, but I want you to listen to this band, So I remember putting that tape in, I had, you remember those little tape recorders you carried around? They had the handles on them. I had one of those, and I shoved it in there, and it was not that great of a recording, but boy, you strained to listen to it, and that really hooked me, and I think it was Too Fast for Love, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was Too Fast for Love, and I don't even know how in the heck he got a hold of it, but he did, and he gave it to me. He's like, "Check this out, Marcie," he was always hooking me up with stuff like that,
Leather Records. That's the label was Leather Records.
Leather records, yeah.
That's Too Fast for Love was on.
Isn't that something? Yeah, and I had the bootleg to that back when I was a kid, he way here the and
That's
back then it was a
awesome.
huge thing because this was a band all the way from California, and here I was in little old Michigan, and that was a big thing, like, "How did you get this?" Bootleg, what is bootleg? When you're 12, 13, you're like, "What is" "Holy Moses," but
Well, exactly. I got an Aerosmith bootleg story for you another time. That's exactly what I said was pretty close to that.
Yeah. Now, Operation My Poo Ninja here, I love, Queensrÿche, and I seen
Yeah,
them when I
yeah.
first seen them, they opened up, I believe I know I could be wrong because 'cause it's been many years, but I swear that they opened up for, Tesla, and they were an opening act, and, we went and seen them, and I just dude, I was like, "Oh my gosh." I I just loved them, and I remember I went out to the mall and bought Operation Mindcrime, and I remember going to school and some of the kids that went to the concert, this one kid was like, "Oh, they sucked." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I remember having a big argument with the dude, like I said, I was so mad at that guy. It's like, "You don't know music," Queensryche friggin'
Exactly.
rocked, I just loved it. It was
Exactly.
heavy, it was new, it was just like just that was just a great album, and I loved it because it had a story behind it, It was just there was a story behind that album.
Can you picture the metal seeing the Metal God open up for Iron Maiden?
Oh, I know. Wouldn't that be
That'd
something? Did you see that?
crazy.
Saw it open up for Maiden first time. Yeah, that would be sweet, man.
That'd be crazy.
I
I
know.
I'd love to see that. That would be
That would have
cool.
been cool back in the real days, you know. Tesla puts on a great show too, and Tesla does
Uh,
put on a great show, you know. If you- the I've
yeah.
I thought that was a good concert, Tesla and Queensryche. I mean, 2 great performers, just like Rob Halford and Iron Maiden. I mean, can you imagine? You know,
Well,
the opening act. I mean, who gets to open? You know, it's just like, you know, you just flip a coin in the back. Tonight it's you. You know, flip
that
a coin.
takes me back to seeing Fight open up for Anthrax. That was such a killer show, and I didn't even know who Fight was. I
Isn't that
just knew,
something? Yeah,
I just knew that the metal god wasn't a Judas Priest anymore. That's all I knew. That is
yeah.
all that I knew.
You just didn't care because it was Rob Halford, right?
It, it was crazy. I was standing at the stage. I was hanging out, and then I met somebody, and they go, "Dude, look at the set list," and I'm like, "What are you talking about, man?" I
Fight. Who
looked
is
at
this band? I just know Rob, man. Yeah, yeah.
I
Is he
look
gonna
at the
play some
set
Turbo
list,
Lover? Yeah.
and it's all Judas Priest songs. I'm like looking at the guy. I'm like pointing at the set list. The
Yeah.
set list is like this far from my hand, right? I
Mhm.
snatch it, and
You know,
I
the
said,
amazing the amazing thing about, like Rob Halford and, them type of people, it's just like, when it comes to being entrepreneurs and stuff like that, they're
"Yeah,
they're amazing how, they're smart on what they do, and, why not throw Judas Priest in there,
well,
just
I gotta tell you, when I told you're absolutely right, and I told the guy standing behind me, I said, these are all Priest songs. He goes, why do you think that is? And I'm looking at him like, I don't know. He goes, don't you know who's in this band? And I said, no. I just know that it looks like it's going to be badass, man. And
mhm.
he goes, watch what happens when the lights go down. The lights went down, and I see the musicians walking on the stage. Then this figure in black stands right in front of me, and I'm like, he goes, "Watch this," and the figure in black turned sideways, had on a baseball cap, and had his head down like that, looking down at the ground. I noticed I had a mic up to his picture, a black silhouette,
Mhm.
right? No more than 4 feet in front of me, right? And all I heard was the drummer just go, tss, 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 and then they bam, they blew into the pit. The lights lit up, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the metal god!
Yeah, that
And he
is
says, "What?" It's
yeah,
just like, yeah.
yeah.
I will never forget that I
That
would even
moment in your life, yeah.
that was magical.
Yeah,
And
I've had a lot of those in my life,
me too. Me
you
too.
know, right here, Rob Reich or Halford Reich and Maiden. I mean, I seen a tour like that. It seems like it was in the 90s at DTE in Detroit, and it was like they brought them all back together, and it was cool to be able to see that tour again later, back when they had those tours. I was too young, I was too young to go to those concerts, so in the 90s, like the Ozfests and things like that, and uh, I seen Maiden, Queensryche, Sabbath, and all at once, and it's just like, what a hell of a concert, you can't beat that, talking about rocking out the whole night, just it's a great experience, and they sound good, every one that steps on the stage, they sound just like their album, you know.
That's amazing.
And
Do you remember when the summer strut happened? The summer strut. It was a summer tour had Foreigner opening up, Loverboy, Scorpions, and Iron Maiden headlining. That was another real good one.
I think, what year was that? Because I think
Oh,
I did see
early
something like
80s.
that. Yeah, that wasn't. I think they redid that tour back in the 90s sometime. I seen a lot of DTE. The Ozfest brought a lot of them on too. You know, I seen a lot of the Ozfest. I had a friend that could get us tickets, you know, and she, bless her soul, she was killed in a car accident, but she,
I'm sorry.
oh, that's okay. But you know, it was, yeah, I've seen some pretty good tours in my day. Not in the beginning, but I have seen, you know, the cool thing is that when they did come back together, they brought back the original members, you know,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
I can say that I got to see some of them bands with, you know, with the original members, you know. The Nightmare Before Christmas tour was a great tour, you know, when Black Sabbath got back together with Ozzy, you know, and that was a, man, was that a tour. We seen them at the Palace at um,
Wow.
in Detroit, and our friend
Wow.
had got us tickets. She worked for a company, and she had the keys to the suites there, and so I got to experience that. I got to hang out in the suites, and boy, we partied. We did. We partied back then. I remember we opened up that door, and it looked like Cheech and Chong, you know, getting out of the, or what was that movie?
Up
Fast
in
Time at
smoke.
Ridgemont High. You know, just Spicoli when he opens a van. You know, that's, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That was
Yeah.
my high school too.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
would roll up the, yeah, that's what it reminded me of, 'cause I remember, specifically remember that when we opened up that sliding glass door to walk out into those box seats to actually go out, you know, after we got done partying and we're like all friggin', you know, zoned out, you know, let's go watch the show, you know, and then I remember opening that door and all that smoke went out, and I remember looking at my friend, I was like, "Man, this is like friggin', you know, Justice Spicoli going on here," you know? We sat out there and yeah, it was, I took it all in. It was good. Yeah.
Oh
Watched the
yeah.
mosh pit. We were
Yeah.
kinda right there. I was just like, it was, the mosh pit's crazy, you know?
Well, then this is something, on that note, this is something that I think you'll appreciate. Hey, everybody in the chat, as part of my new show format, I have a 30-second commercial break. So we will be right back with Marcie Douglas. Enjoy. And we are back.
That's funny. That's a good one, man. I like
Nobody saw that coming.
that. You're pretty creative with all that stuff. You really are, man.
Uh-oh, we've got some comments in the chat.
Oh, bring them up, bring them up.
Yeah, I
Yeah, if
wanted
anybody
to.
has any questions for me, you know, go ahead and ask me, you know,
Definitely.
you know, what I've been working on, you know, while Glenn's been working, you know, getting the mixing and mastering done with the album and stuff like that. I've been working on marketing classes and stuff like that. So I've been um, learning some stuff. First Ozzy tour here, Riot. Ooh, Riot, that's a good one. Leopard, Ozzy, killer lineup, great show. That is, I, yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
AD time. Oh, funny, funny man. Throw some thumbs up, folks. Yeah,
Okay, there you go. Ah!
throw them up. Throw
You
them
liking
up.
the show? That's awesome. Have a great show, guys. Have to run. Thanks for stopping in, Pat. I so appreciate you being here. That really means a lot that you're here. And I'm so happy you stopped in. And thank you very much for being here.
Hey,
And look out for the album because it's going to be coming out. So it'll be here. So before we know
th-
it.
thanks for being here, Pat. Nice to meet you. My name is The Dreamer. This is my show, Hanging with the Dreamer. Come back anytime. I love to talk to you more.
Merch is way and the light. Yeah. Yep. I know. It's funny when getting into this
That's a
album.
good point right
It
there.
is. It is, and taking these marketing classes are like, you can come up with your own, what you can sell and this and that, and here I'm sitting, I'm thinking, what am I going to sell, and then, the album cover came out and it's like, here's this picture. And I thought, man, I can make that into a t-shirt and then and I thought, okay, now the ideas are generating, it's just like, it's fun to watch when you start something and then you bring it together, you bring it, just everything just kind of falls into place, as it's going. And it's been a great experience for all of that to kind of like fall into place as it is now, even just like with the writing process of it,
Mm.
like, I would send a song to Glenn, like there's one song where you know they're going to be, they're the ones that are actually going to be on the album, they're the ones that are going to be playing the music, and I'm going to be doing the singing. So um you know I can't wait until you hear, like how they made these songs come alive, for the album and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of close frisbees, house people throw them on stage and you can resell them. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, I should have them put their names on them, do a lost and found. If you lost your frisbee, make sure you put your name on it before you come, and then I can sign them. Hey, there you go.
Cloth frisbees, dude.
Yeah.
Why
Sell
not?
yeah, sell back their frisbees to them. Yeah.
Why not? I mean, I'll tell you, that's a great idea, actually. I
Yeah,
like
that is a
that.
great idea. It is.
So, so where are you right now with in relation to marketing to your music?
As in getting it out there, you mean?
Yeah,
As in
yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty much there. I ended up getting my publishing license and stuff, and, uh, right now I'm just once I get the masters in my hand, then I'll upload it up into where I need to, and, um, I definitely wanna do a vinyl. I really wanna put it on a vinyl album. That's my big dream, really, is to I want it on a vinyl album, something like this, That's what I want.
Oh, look at that.
Look, it's Tommy Bolin.
Look at that.
Look
Look
at
at that. Wow. Look
Yeah,
at that, everybody.
so
Wow. I
it's
have,
just yeah, that's what I want. I wanna see that. I wanna be able to walk into a record store and say, "Hey, there's my album."
I'll tell
I
you
think that'll
what,
be the coolest thing ever, and then
you,
to have Sean and Glenn Drover on it, I mean, that I mean, I'm speechless right
wow.
there. I don't even
Wow.
it's amazing to be able to work with people that are, they've been there, they've been in the business for, way more than I have. They've got mounts of experience, and be able to work with professional, players like that is amazing. It's, I never thought in a million years that I would be where I'm at, you know. Um, when I decided I wanted to get into writing my own album, I seen Glenn, advertising on Facebook, and I thought I was in this metal motivation um, group on Facebook, and And, that inspired me too, to get the courage to write him and say, "Hey, I wanna write an album," and I don't know, I didn't know what my level was, in my playing, because I didn't know where if I had the ability to do it, you know? And, it wasn't easy work. It wasn't easy work. It really wasn't, and, Glenn didn't do it for me, that's one thing I appreciate with Glenn. He made me, you know I would send him a file, and he'd be like, "Well, I think you need to do this," or, and "I think you need to work on your timing," and, I'd send it back and fix it, and, in my writing in the beginning, I had more words than I needed, for each lyric and things like that, and he taught me how to, rearrange and arrange, the writing process and things like that. So I learned a lot from Glenn, and his brother Sean, and they taught me you know, to be a better writer. And I've noticed, like, with the songs that are going to be on this album, I can tell that each song gets better, like I can tell, like, my skill level of in my writing, and even in my and guitar playing, writing the lyrics and writing the guitar parts out, I can hear it in each song as it goes on, I've it they allowed me to open up to be who I am as a musician, and I'm very grateful to Glenn and John for that, and I truly believe that, when it came to writing the solos and the bass part and the drum parts, it's just like, do what you guys do, I'm sure anything that you guys do, I'm not gonna like, because
Yeah.
I'm not on their level, you know? So, anything they write, heck, they could put Mary Had the Little Lamb in the middle of it, and think it would be great, It's just
It's all in the delivery.
it's all in the delivery, yeah. And, I think one of the best compliments that I got from Glenn was, after I did my part, and my goal was to write 10 songs, and I ended up doing 12, you know?
Yeah.
And, there's actually, I think we're gonna end up doing 11, and then, we're talking about even, maybe writing another album later on, once this gets promoted out there. We'll put it out there and see how it goes, and see what people think of it. Phone is ringing, gotta scoot. Y'all have a great week. Thanks, Pooh Ninja, for stopping in.
Thanks,
I
Pooh, man.
appreciate it. And then come back and see us again. So,
Yeah, Friday, man. Which
and
leads me to say real quick, I just wanted to what happened?
oh, hey, Dale.
Dale.
Dale
Well,
Roscoe. Dale Roscoe is he's part of the metal motivation group that I was in. We were all
welcome to
kind of
the
in this
show.
group together. He wrote an album. It was
Welcome,
just like,
welcome,
yeah.
welcome,
Thanks
welcome.
for stopping by, Dale. I appreciate that. Wow, this is really cool. It makes me all the people that I've been with that supported me through the 4 years that I wrote this album, they're here, and that makes me feel good. That's you know
That's
touches my
good.
heart a little bit. So I
That's
I
good.
like that.
That's
So
good.
um with the album, with the writing process and all that I was talking about, it's just I when I had Glenn and them, do their thing, it's all about being who you are, I just listened to a podcast with Sean Drover on it. And him and his brother are getting ready to come out with an album together, the
Wow.
Drover brothers, I think that's great,
I
because they had a band called Eidolon back in the day, you know and to see them get back together and collaborate like that, I think that's phenomenal. And they talked about that too, they still like to get together like they're in a studio. And when they did my album, that's what they would do, they when Sean could get up to Canada, they would get in there and do it like they were in a real studio. There's days I was like, man, I wish I could be up there with them. It'd be great to experience that. you know.
Yeah, it would be.
It would be,
Would be.
but some things are not possible, because we all live different lives and busy and all that stuff. But yeah, it would be cool just to be there, just to watch them take what I wrote and make it better. Just you loved Eidolon. Eidolon is a great band, man. I discovered them back. Oh, geez, I think even before Facebook. I would get on these radio stations, found these radio stations, and they had the live chat, and we'd go in and talk, and that's how I learned about Eidolon. And I think back when I was learning about that, Glenn and Sean were actually, they were doing, I think it was around the Geigen, kind of close to the Geigen tour. They were, uh, tour and Megadeth back in them days. But that's when I learned about Eidolon, was back then, from people that are like us, that love the music. It was kind of cool because they were like these radio stations, like these underground radio stations, and you just went in there and everybody went there, and then all of a sudden everybody was on MySpace, and then next thing you know, everybody's on Facebook, and then it's
Wow.
like, and some of the people I was talking to was like, oh my gosh, some of them were like musicians, that, I would never guess who I'd be talking to. It's just
Me
like,
neither. Me
yeah,
neither.
yeah. So you've experienced that. KNAC was another one I used to hang in years ago, and I met Long Paul through that. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and things like that, and it's just, back then you didn't really know who you was talking to. Everybody had a different name, you typed in your own silly name, we did it for protection, and then, Facebook kind of came out, and I, then it kind of connected people, better, talking to Glenn, when writing this album, he told me, he says, you don't know how easy you got it. He says, when we did it, he said it took forever to write an album, because you would record it, and then you'd have to put it in the mail and send it to them, and then and that's how they did things back then, and then you ended up in the
Yeah.
studio,
Yeah.
he said it was a
Yeah.
very long process back then,
Yeah.
compared to what it is today. He says you don't know how easy you got it to do an album, compared to, and a lot cheaper too. And it's still expensive. Even for what I'm doing, I've scraped. I had to work two jobs, just to get this album up and going. I'm still working two jobs. I just landed another job at the VA here. I'm contracted out with my hair business. So, and I love that job. It's actually, it's one of those jobs where it's a good feeling to go on there and cut hair for the vets and things like that.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, and it's also going towards the music. And I tell them about what I'm doing, and they're always, every time I go, say, hey, how's your album going? And they, and it's cool, and it's it's everybody helping everybody out, kind of thing.
So, are there anybody that you'd like to give a special shout out to?
Oh, heck, I don't know. Didn't think about all that. I really didn't. I guess I just say hi to Glenn and Sean. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be here promoting. I have a lot of appreciation towards them guys. It's not easy to have somebody to take you seriously. You
Hmm.
know, but especially when they don't know who you are.
Hmm.
And to be able to give you that chance to be able to prove yourself. That's what I was getting at. After I did my part of writing, and now that it's in the mixing process, I typed Glenn one day. I was like, I can't believe I just wrote an album, and he wrote me back and he says, that's pretty impressive. He says, it's pretty impressive. You wrote an album. He said, that's pretty impressive. So I feel really proud of that. And I feel really proud of what's going on this album. I'm proud of it all. The leads and everything that Glenn has put on it, and even the drum work. There's like
Hmm.
one song that I was listening to. They sent it back, and I was listening to the drums, and it's just like they'll throw, uh, there's one song where or Sean just throws these 3 beat hits, and, it's just like out of the it's like, "Oh, where'd that come from?" But it's like, "Wow, that sounds really good," and you just tell he just put his own style and technique into it, and, he's a great drummer, and same with
Well,
Glenn with his lead playing and stuff. I think a lot of the lead playing and everything it's gonna be pretty memorable, and that's what it is, and keeping it alive, just like Eidolon. Eidolon, you gotta keep it alive, you know, just like Dale said, he loves Eidolon, and it's great to talk about that because, that's their baby, that's what they put together. Yeah.
so when we started talking about the show and when we started to get things together for today to happen,
Mhm.
you were sharing with me that you had some exciting news to share with me.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, um, how we talked about how things fall into place,
Hmm.
and I've just been like the busy little bee, the consistent person. I'm very consistent, keeping up and, even though that there's been setbacks with this COVID-19, I'm like, "Hey, album's coming out," things like that, just trying to keep it alive, while we're trying to get through all of this pandemic stuff that we're going through, and um um a guy named Eddie Cantoon got a hold of me, and he owns Dog on It Strings, and he uh he um he helps endorse Jeff Duncan and Matt
Wow.
Duncan from DC4 and
Yeah.
Armor
Yeah.
Saint, and
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Jeff Duncan, he just came out with his new um solo album, which I totally friggin' love that, it's just I love that album. He shines on that album, you know, and, um, and he got a hold of me, and he said he had one of my pictures, and he was like, "Hey, can I use this, for my advertisement?" And I said I didn't even think twice. I was like, "Yeah," I thought, "Yeah, because 'cause that'll get m that kinda it gives me more exposure, just like
That's
being on this
awesome.
show," And,
That's awesome.
so that had happened, and then, uh, he knew about my private group because I do a live feed in my private group where I am kinda showing sneak peeks of the album, and I'm actually
Mhm.
playing my guitar and singing, and, um, he came in there, he pops in, and, he asked me if I wanted to do, a Java and Jam show with him, and to help interview people while going through this pandemic and stuff like that. So I was like, "Yeah, let's do it," So, we're things are busy, he's a busy guy, that guy is, so we're gonna start that in the beginning of April, just before the guitar festival down in Texas. And the reason why is because he also asked me, invited me to come down to Texas and to help be part of the Dog on It booth and help run the booth and help promote the strings. But he also wanted
Amazing.
me to come down there, and he says, "Come on down, play guitar, bring some posters, promote your album." He goes, "I wanna help you, and it helps me," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." So, at the end of, April, I think it's April 3rd, 1st, and 2nd, you know, we'll be I'll be down in Texas, and I will
Wow.
be promoting and, talking about, everything down there, and he also asked me if I might be interested in interviewing other artists too while I'm there, and maybe even doing a live show of the Java and Jams, which will be great because then I can talk more about the album, with a special guest of Glenn and Sean and them being on there, and it's pretty amazing.
Well,
So,
you'll have to come back after that. Come back on the show here and give an update.
yes, I will. I would love
Please.
to. I would love to. I would,
Please.
if it's great, I would like to actually maybe play, maybe, take one of the songs and we can listen to it, and we can hear it, and
I would love that.
give
I
people a taste of these great musicians that I'm working with, you know.
I would love that. And we can do that with via MP4 format, WAV file converted to MP4 format. I could play it on the show.
Mhm.
Also, as part of my new short format for 2021, and I throw this out here to everybody that comes on my show, is that I would like to start doing two things. One, having a segment of the show called Play Live, so my guests can perform if they wish.
Yeah, I'll do that. I got my guitar set up just in case.
Cool,
I
cool,
didn't know what was
cool.
gonna happen today, but I told you I wasn't for sure if I wasn't ready, and then I thought, man, I really need to play these songs. It's some of these songs that I wrote. It's I've been working on it for like 4 years. That's badass. Which city is
A
It's
guitar.
in Texas, Dale. It's in Texas. Oh, Houston. Oh, geez, don't. I'll have to let you know, Dale. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Should I look it up? I
Look
should
it
know
up.
this, right?
Look it up. No,
I should
that's
look this.
okay. It's
Hey,
a
that's
lot to take in. It's a
yeah, it
lot to
is.
take
It
in.
is. And let me just pull it up real fast and I will let you know. I got to get on my glasses so I can see.
I can't see a thing without mine. No
Oh my
worries,
gosh, and
Marcie.
as I'm getting older, it's just like I'm realizing I'm getting older, you know? It's like, um, let me scroll down to find it. It's called it's in Dallas International Guitar Festival. Dallas Market Hall is where it's going to be.
That's good to be cool.
Yes. Yeah. So it'll be a good experience. It's kind of like a NAM show. I've actually been to the NAM show. It's been, gosh, it's hard to believe that it's been 20 years since I've been there. But how time flies, over the years. So, but it was a cool experience to be able to go and do that, and I met Jeff Duncan there.
Oh, at the Dallas Guitar Show?
No, at the NAM show and actually in California. I have been to the NAM show. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping 2022 will bring the NAM show back.
Yeah,
And
I do too,
you know,
I
it
miss doing, I've been wanting to get back there, but life gets in the way, as we know, and oh, Dale, that would be great if you do make it down there, get a hold of me and well, I'll meet up with you. It'd be great to meet you in person, you know. I would love to meet you. It would be cool. I would definitely be up for that. So definitely get a hold of me. And
the 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 Dallas Guitar Show.
mhm.
I have seen some videos on YouTube from the Dallas Guitar Show of the last few years, and I got to tell you, it looks impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks impressive, and I
Yeah.
mean, you find you all sorts of people like the NAM show,
Mhm.
the Dallas Guitar Show in Texas. Collectors come from all over the world, and I mean
I think I'll love it if.
it's very impressive, and
It,
you're surrounded literally by music history
yes.
and music royalty, more or less.
Yeah.
And so let's
It'll
talk.
be a great learning experience, another journey, another adventure, and I'm down for that. I am. I'm down for that. I'm down for this album to come out and see where it heads to the, where's it going to take me to, it's
Well, would you like to would you like to play a song or two?
uh I guess I can. I mean, let's see if I can pull something up here.
No better time like the present.
Yeah. Just throw me to the wolves.
And before we do that real quick, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Essential Guitarist group on Facebook. I want to give a quick shout out to El Puerto Records. I want to give a quick shout out to Curtain Call Promotions. And I also wanted to give a big shout out to everyone uh, who shares this show, who promotes me, who promotes my show, Hanging with the Dream, Circus of the Dark Radio, Circus of the Dark TV, Circus of the Dark Modeling. The Sonic Disciples group. I on Facebook. I just want to give a big shout out and thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for always always sharing my show out every week, every time. And thank you so very much for the support. And every show, I need to make sure that I give these shout outs because I appreciate you all. If it wasn't for everyone in the chat, if it wasn't for all the great folks that share out my content, I would not be doing what I do today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And thank you to Sal Quintetto. And thank you to Jay Lamb's Remy from Surrender Stella. And thank you to the lead singer of Surrender Stella 7. I'm looking forward to talking to you and seeing you again here in a few weeks. I'll send you your show link 7 and everything um, coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to talking to you again. And without further ado, I believe that's all my shout outs for right now. But and I also just want to, sorry, Marcy.
That's
I
okay.
I also want to give a big shout out to Ricky Rackman over on Twitter. Ricky, if you're watching right now, I hope that you're enjoying the show, and I hope that you'll consider some of the things we talked about last night. Um, Thank you very much for watching, Ricky.
Yes, thank you, Ricky. That's
And
really cool. Gosh, I remember him from the 80s, man. MTV, all of that stuff. And the ride thing that he does, I followed that. I've shared some of his stuff, and I just love what he does.
yep, me
And
too.
he
Me
does
too.
he does he does a lot of good for everybody, and it's
Yes, he
amazing.
does.
Yeah. I just
So, yes,
It's cool he's here. I didn't know he was here.
you know,
Yeah.
you're watching, Ricky. I hope you're able to watch this. If not, catch it on the replay. But if you're watching, thank you. Thank you for giving us your time today. And
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
I would like to introduce you, Ricky Rackman, Mr. Rackman, to Marcy Douglas. Take it away, Marcy.
Hey. Hey, Ricky. Guess you get to listen to me play, huh? Okay, so let me set up. Let me know if it's too loud, Will, because I don't know. Okay.
That's cool.
Does that sound good? And then
Yeah.
I'm going to add this backing track because I'm more comfortable doing it with a backing track. So, can you hear that? Okay. Let me pull it up. Okay, let me reset it. Okay, so here we go. Scrolling through this window called life, looking back on my life, had some good times and lost some fights. Side. I carry this weight on my shoulders. I wonder if I embrace the pain. This cold that turns to go stronger through this window of pain. I had to bury this night. Yes, I have moved on, but somehow this memory haunts me. Oh yes, it's healing in its soul. I keep holding on. I keep being strong for you. For you. For you. Oh, for you. Ask how do you do it? I never seen someone as strong as you. But deep inside it's like a cancer, eating at the bones like roses do. I keep praising him. He lifts me up through man's sins. Oh yes, it still holds me. I buried the sky deep within him. I do it all. I do it all. I do it all for you. For you. Thank you.
Right on, Marcie. Check it out. That was beautiful.
Thanks. Yep, that's going to be one of the songs on the album. It's called Windows of Life. So
what's your inspiration behind that? Sorry to cut you off. What's your inspiration behind that?
oh gosh, what was my inspiration on that song? The inspiration on that song was like that was like one of the first songs I sent to. It was one of the second songs I actually had sent to Glenn, and um the first song was a song that I wrote like many years ago, and then I was just like, I need to write another song, and so I felt under this pressure. So I started. He's like, well, do you have some songs? I said, yeah, I have to go find them, and then I started kind of scrolling through some old pictures and things like that on Facebook, and it brought back good memories. It brought back bad memories, and
Mm.
and then this song was inspired from that. It was that it just came out. It was just like I went and wrote it. I didn't use an old song that I wrote 10 years ago. It was a new song. And then it kind of trickled from there. I didn't go and look at the old songs that I had written. I started writing new. It kind of inspired me into the direction of this album, you know. So,
Well, check it out. Let's Diane.
hi
Let's
Diane. Hey lady. So glad
welcome
you made it.
welcome to the show, Diane. My name is the Dreamer. I'm just hanging out with Marcie today here in Dreamland Studios. Thank you for being here, and I hope to
Yes.
see you again.
Yes,
Thank you for
yes.
being here, Diane.
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine. I've known Diane since high school. We used to be in choir together. She's my
Oh,
partner in
cool,
crime. Yeah.
cool. definitely come back.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely come back. There's some big shows coming up, Diane. I'd love to see you again.
Yeah, come check out the Dreamer show. She will. She'll post for you. She's a great supporter. She always has been. Hey, look who's back. Effects
And
provided
free.
free. So
That's awesome. 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 By streaming services, Phase Underwater Tremelo.
Awesome, awesome, man. That's great. You look better on my TV than my phone, laugh out. Yeah. Put me on TV, man. I'm like the
Do it.
superstar.
Yeah. Go to YouTube. Go to Hanging with the Dreamer, Hanging with Marcie Douglas,
Yeah, you can do that now. These smart TVs are
and you can watch
pretty
the rest
amazing.
of the show on your TV, Diane.
Yes, you can. You can see my head be like this big, yeah. I can't
Hey,
say sorry. Oh, Sandra, thanks for stopping by. Um,
hey,
drop a
Sandra.
thumbs up and say hello, and we'll start. Thank you for stopping by, Sandra. I appreciate
Friday,
it.
Friday, Sandra, coming up. I got Andy Black live from Germany, and that's going to be cool. His band Mission in Black.
Oh, yeah.
Stop, stop by if you have time. I'd love to see you. As special as Marcie is, for me to have Marcie on the show today means a lot. And it means a lot to the Dreamer, it means a lot to Dreamland Studios, and it means a lot to Hanging with the Dreamer. Friday, Sandra, please come back for Friday. I hope to see you. Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, looky, it's Essential Guitarist. What's going on?
Hey.
What's going on, Essential Guitars? I was just giving you a shout out earlier. Again, special thank you to Bill Eagleson and the Essential Guitarist group on Facebook for always promoting me and for always sharing my shows. Bill, this is here is Marcie Douglas.
Hi, Bill. How are you? Just talking about the upcoming album with special guests Glenn Drover and Sean Drover that are going to be on the album with us. And I can't wait to actually get it out there. Hopefully, you guys got to hear some of that, and you got to hear, some of Sean's, his work and Glenn's work and all our work all collaborated into one song. So
If if there was a concert stage, thank you, Sandra. Thank you. Thank you so much for popping in today. And thank you so much for wanting to check out my shows. Thank you for being here, Sandra. Thank you very much. Thank you. The and thank you too, Bill. Essential Guitars group on Facebook. Check it out, everybody, if you haven't checked out the group yet. So what I wanted to ask you was if you had an opportunity to play on any stage that you know of in this country, what stage would it be?
oh my gosh. I think one of the coolest stages I've ever seen, and it stemmed from watching Joe Bonamassa, out of all people, is the Red Rock. Is it and where is it at? Is it in Arizona or
In
something?
Colorado.
Colorado. I think that is just a beautiful place, and just to be outside, you know, in that atmosphere would be just phenomenal. It would just be, like you said, like when you first see your first concert, the electrifying part of it, that would be very electrifying to just be up there. I think it'd be a great place.
Well, that's about it for today, folks. Um, if you'll hang out for a little bit, Marcy, and check out everybody check out Marcy's music, check out all of Marcie's links down the description box below.
Yes,
And
yep, yep.
look,
Ask
look,
me about my private group if you really wanna know the first sneak peeks of what's coming on with the album, and you wanna hear some of the music that's gonna be on there and me playing it live, come in there, and I talk about all the albums that I'm spinning and things like that, and just yeah. But you have to ask, I want to make sure everybody that wants to be in that group is actually interested in what I'm doing musically wise. So
check out all of Marcie's links in the description box below. So that's about it for today, dreamers. See you all Friday for Andy Black, live from Germany. Until
bye
then,
everybody. Keep rocking.